Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you all so much for being back here in the channel. My name is EQ and today I am extremely happy to have you all here because if I was excited about the last video where we got to introduce all the characters and scavengers and their abilities, in this video we finally get to go over the article that the team over at Midwinter Entertainment posted about a couple weeks ago. And I know I'm late. 2 weeks late, but who's counting? Anyways, exciting news nonetheless. Scavengers early access late April, that's this month. That's in a couple weeks. I am beyond ecstatic, guys. I am extremely happy to finally get my hands back on in the game. So in order to make it up to you guys for just being a little bit late, just a little bit, I want to go over the early access announcement article where the team went ahead and gave us a whole bunch of behind the scenes information of what they've been working on. So that way you guys are all caught up on anything and everything that you've missed since the last beta up until now. You guys are aware of the changes that they've made and you guys are more prepared for once the game finally launches late April. I can't stress it enough, guys. I can't stress it enough. I'm just so excited for the game. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Now on to the reason for this video, which is this article that was posted on March 17th, 2021, where the team let us know that the game was going to be coming out in early access late April. Now, quick side note, I will not be reading this thing word by word or else we would never end this video and I don't want to bore you guys. So I will be linking the article down below in the description. Make sure that you take a look at that if you want to go more in depth. For now, I will only give you a summary of the main focal points or the main takeaways of the article. Now, I absolutely love that the team decided to go ahead and give us a very thorough explanation as to why they moved the early access release from March to April. Now, the very first reason being that they are actually migrating the game from an older version of the Unreal Engine to Unreal Engine 4.26, which is a newer build. Now, I am not a game developer, so I have no knowledge on any of this. So I have to take their word, as they mentioned here, that it is extremely complicated, and we're just gonna go with that. Now, the second reason for the delay is because the team is still working on the groundwork on that foundation for the console release. Even though they are focusing on PC for now, they want to make sure that once they do switch over to console release, they already have that foundation, that road set up for them, and they don't leave their console players behind. They are trying to aim for console release later in 2021. Now, the third and final major reason for the delay, as outlined here on the article, is because they're trying to work out all of the bugs, unknown issues that have come up from all of the different changes that they've been implementing. This meant that as the deadline for March was looming, they would have had to kick their team into overdrive. And I completely understand where they come from here when they mention that crunch is not an option. And I completely commend them for that. We've seen the absolute horror stories that come from different development studios that have done crunch and how it takes a toll on their team's mental and physical health, takes them away from family members, and we definitely do not want that for this team or for any team for that matter. So I completely commend them for delaying the game, and I am completely on board with the delay because it means that the game will be bug-free, stable, and it did not come at the cost of the team's mental and physical health. So again, hats off to you guys over at Midwinter Entertainment for that. Moving to the latter end of this article, we're going to be talking about progression and metagame, gameplay balance, matchmaking and lobby experience, as well as optimization. Starting off with the progression and the metagame, we got some exciting news here where they're adding new weapon variants and talents for the explorers. Now, does this mean that there will be new weapon variants for every single weapon in the map, or will it be only weapon variants for the signature weapons of each character? That is yet to be seen. Now, different talents for the explorers or different variants of talents for the explorers are a huge deal. We just don't know if this means that each explorer is going to get 2 or more talents that are completely different from each other, or if they're going to get variants of their already existing talents. I'm guessing it's going to be the latter, but we'll still have to see how that plays out. It would be fun to see a Valora who has different variants of that shield, where maybe one is a lot stronger and can sustain more damage, but has a longer cooldown, or a shield that can be spammed more often because it has a lower cooldown, but it does not resist as much damage as the standard shield. It's going to be very fun to see how that will impact the meta and how that will affect what characters are picked the most in the game and what characters work best with each other. Next, they talk a little bit about player progression. They do link us to their Dev Insights player progression blog, which is a more in-depth article that talks about the player progression itself. But here they add on to that article by talking about future weekly and daily challenges that they will be adding into the game, season passes that we already know we're going to be coming because it is a free-to-play game. They are going to be adding more equipment, more weapons, and a good, nice little confirmation of more explorers. Even though this game sets itself up for having more than the set amount of explorers that it'll have at launch, it is always nice to hear a nice little confirmation from the devs that there will be more explorers to come. Extremely exciting news. In the gameplay balance section of this article, they expand a bit on what they've already covered in the Dev Insights Information Warfare blog. They mentioned that they have updated the motion scanner, which is the scanner that continually pings throughout the match, showing the location of different teams that may be nearby. Now, if they are hiding inside of a building or if they are within a storm, they cannot be seen by this radar. They've also added the Keeper sonar, which is listening to players' movements. Now, they've also updated that by making it so that if the player is crouched or if they are sliding, they are undetectable by the sonar. As far as performance and optimization goes, we saw that during the closed beta and the first couple of playtests, optimization and performance was kind of lacking. My computer is pretty beefy and even it was struggling at certain points. I'm glad to see that they added DLSS for NVIDIA GPU cards, which is absolutely amazing. It made a world of a difference, especially during the closed beta. Now, for people who have lower spec machines, just keep in mind that they are working on it and trying to make sure that they nail it down, you know, give you guys the best experience overall. Even though there may be hiccups at the early release launch, just bear with it. They're going to go ahead and fix it and make sure that you guys are also covered. Now, for the matchmaking and online experience, they also talked a little bit about dynamic play space scaling, which is something that they mentioned on their last February update. This means that the map in its entirety will not be available every single match. Depending on the population, depending on how many players are available for that match, maybe they didn't fill up the entire queue and they only have a partially full match. Different sections of the map will be closed down in order to keep that density of players within a smaller area, making sure that every match is more enjoyable, there are shorter queue times, and that player density is just right to keep the right amount of action going. Now, some last few additional updates. You have the new player journey, which is making sure that the tutorial basically is just right and easy for new players to understand and pick up the game and start a match and keep on going from there. Anti-cheat is absolutely huge. I'm glad that they are making sure that that is a priority. Vehicle damage. Now, if you are in a vehicle with different passengers and somebody shoots at you, all of you will take that spread damage along with the vehicle itself. For the end of match details, they've tidied up the end of match presentation for scoring and player placement, so that way you know exactly how well you or how bad you did. Now, the dropship update is probably the most impactful one out of these additional updates that they mentioned here. The dropship used to be crazy. Whenever it would land, it would open up all of its doors and everybody could come in from all sorts of different angles and try to steal other people's data points. It would be an absolute bloodbath trying to either get in or stay alive inside the dropship. Now, once it lands, the doors are completely closed and the team has to walk up to the dropship and manually open one of these many doors that the dropship has in order to actually enter. Now, what's good about this is that now it gives you more strategic plans of you opening up a door and maybe gatekeeping so that way nobody else can come in, and you can actually position yourself better in that dropship where, since you have more cover since all of the doors are closed. Now, the bad thing about this is that people can actually ambush you while you and your team are trying to open a door. So you have to be very, very careful and aware of your surroundings so so that way you don't get eliminated right at the end of the match and you lose all of your data points. Anyways, that is it for the video. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this information was helpful to you all and you know what to expect come early access later on this month. If you guys have any questions, any concerns, anything at all, feel free to go ahead and contact me, whether it be through Twitter, Twitch, Discord, the comments down below. I'll be more than glad to help you guys out as much as possible. And I will also be linking the official Discord for Scavengers down below in case you guys want to go ahead and ask any more questions there, or just hang out with an amazing community of explorers that are just eager to get their hands on the game. You can always catch me streaming over on Twitch every Thursday and Saturday from 8:30 p.m. Eastern onwards. You best believe that for Scavengers, we're going to do something special. So make sure that you go ahead and follow me there. And if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and drop that like. Would really appreciate it as it helps out the channel a bunch. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, night, whatever it may be. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Have a good one.